How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm here with another little project. I'm gonna make a little craft for in my room here. It's gonna be an American flag, and what I'm gonna do is it's gonna be torn and tattered. It will hang this way on the wall, sort of like this. It's just basically a craft, and I want to put it on the wall. I think it would look pretty cool, and so I'm going to be making a craft of the American flag. So I'll show you what I'm going to be doing here. What I'm going to kind of tear. I've been looking for a project I could do on that new saw, that scroll saw that I'd found in the junk. And I thought this would make a good project. So what I want to do is the ends of it, which I might be a little bit more aggressive than this here. You can see how it's got it looks torn on the end. So it'll be a little bit more aggressive than this, and this would be the ends of it, which would hang down. I'll give you a little better close-up on how I'm setting this thing up, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, what I've done here is I got the tape on there, and I started drawing. That tape don't want to stick real good to that wood, but anyhow, I was trying to draw the points, okay, from where it's torn up. Now, right here, as you can see, I kind of got screwed up. I'm over here on this end, so I need to redraw this one and get it to go up into a point. You want to keep your points as close as you can to, you know, not as far over to the edge as I got that one. So I'm just going to go from here, and I'll go back up on this one, and we're just going to tear it so it's not quite over to the edge, and then we'll just come back across right here and bring it on down. We want to try to keep our points pretty close inside this board and not over to the edge too much. I'm getting over there a little bit, but I think I'll be okay. Then we'll cross over here. If you can see there, I think you can see all right. So this one right here would be crossed out here. We're not going to cut this one. So we'll stop in here and we'll stop in there. So I just got to be a little more careful. I want to try to keep the points up on this and not over the edge. You don't want it over the edge too far. And it's supposed to look ragged, so, and I probably won't be perfect on this, but hey, it'll look nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish tearing this thing up, see what we get. Now you can see what I did here. I just marked a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kept marking each one of the boards, so I know where each one of the boards go all the way down through there. That way, when I come back in and put them back down, they're all going to be the same place. Alright, we're in the garage. I've cut 3 of these already to make sure I can get them cut okay. And the little machine's been working pretty good. Now don't forget, this is the one that somebody threw in the garbage. I did the video on it, so if you haven't watched it, you can go watch it. nice thing about this project, it doesn't matter if you get out of the line. You don't have to worry about the line. You want to kind of wiggle the blade a little bit so it looks rough and nasty edge. We want a real nasty looking edge for it. I got one of them blades in here right now that'll cut frontwards or backwards. That's how I'm cutting these. I think they call it a spiral blade. This wood's about 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's cutting it pretty easily. There's what it looks like. Once we sand that up, it should look really nice. So we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to keep cutting them. Just so you know, I am cutting them all. Right there they are, and they look pretty good, I think. Okay, that's number 13. I'll show you what they all look like cut. Okay, that's all 13 of them cut. So now if we line all these up on one edge, mind you, they're a little bowed up, warped a little bit, but once we get them clamped in there and put together, I think that's going to look pretty cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down here and start sanding all these edges up. I'm going to sand down the edges, the sides and everything, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this, the red and the white on the face, but I think I might do black around the edges to make it look a little more old. So that's what I got done so far. I'm going to sit down here and sand these guys up and see how I can get them to look sanded up. Takes a good bit of sanding to get all these little edges cleaned up. They ain't gonna be perfect, but we want them to look pretty decent. We don't want a bunch of stuff hanging off of them. I think our edge is gonna look nice. Should look good and worn out. So that's kind of what we're looking for. What I'm doing here is I'm squaring these all up, and I'm trying to find, I'm looking at I have a flag here, and it's 12 inches from here to here, and it's not quite half. It's only say 5.5. It's a 1/2 inch from being almost half of the size of it. And if I go by half the size of this flag, and we don't go quite half, that would be about 18 inches. So I'm not going to go quite 18. I think I'm going to go 17 inches. That will be, let's see, we'll go 16 inches on this. I think that'll be fine. So we'll get our mark at 16 inches here. Now I'm going to make a straight edge all the way down this side. So I'm going to score this in here, just a little score with a knife, just so I know where that edge is. And then this will be blue, and then our stripes will go around it. So I only use, see, I counted the stars. If you count the stars on this little flag, if you noticed each row, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. So we took 7 rows of the boards. Then the stars are going to be up on this and halfway on the next one. So that's the way they're set up. Each row has, one has 6, one has 5, and it continues that all the way to the bottom. So we'll go ahead and mark this out. This is where our blue is going to be, up in here. So I'll go ahead and get this marked out, and then we'll have this much done anyhow. Then I'll score that. Like I said, I'm just going to take a razor blade and make a little mark down through there so I know where it goes. I think we look pretty good right there, so we'll go ahead and mark this down. So right there is where our mark's going to be, where the blue's going to start and stop, right there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my carpenter knife, I'm going to go down through here and put it in a little bit of an angle, and I'll do the same thing on this side. And I should get just a little V out of there, and I don't want nothing big, I just want something small. Just enough to know where that mark is. So then I'll do each one of them just like that, and then we'll have our line where our blue is going to start and stop. I'll go ahead and get that finished up. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to paint all of it black, and then we'll start putting our color on it. Before we put it together, I want to make sure all the paint's down on these sides real good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this painted black, and then we'll get you guys back here. Alright, I let these things set all night and they're good and dry. We're going to go ahead now, and I have some red paint and some white. And we're going to go ahead and start. So we'll start off our red, white, we'll keep going down. Now, I put that score in there. You remember I put that score in there. See, I can see where the blue is going to be, so I'll paint right up to that line right there. So that gives me an idea of how much I need blue and how much the other colors. So I'm going to sit down here and go ahead and start painting the red and white on. Now, I'm only going to paint the surface. I only want to paint the surface. I don't want to paint the sides, and I don't want to paint this piece here. I just want to paint the surface. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to paint just what's facing up. So I'm going to go ahead and get to painting this now. Well, I got all the red done. I didn't put it on real thick. It's actually pretty thin on there. I kind of like it thin. I think that looks good. So now I'm going to do all the white ones. So we can throw these off to the side and get the white ones done. Okay, as you can see, I got the white and the red painted on, and I left the inside here all black. I left all the black on there. I might even touch up a little more black on the edges here, but it's starting to look good. And the nice thing about it being in pieces, these are all pieces, is that I don't get paint on the white and the red on the white and the white on the red. So I went in there, I think it was Michael's, and picked up some little stars that I'm just going to hot glue on here. But I need to get the blue painted on here. I'm having a little hard time trying to get all the stars on there, because I want I don't want them on the seam if I can help it. I wanted them in the straight rows. So I'm going to do my best to get as many stars as I can on there, but I'm going to go ahead and paint this blue part in here and then paint my stars all black. So I'm going to work on painting these black and painting this square blue. Don't look half bad. What I'm doing is I'm painting all the stars black first. I'm just taking a small pair of tweezers here, and I'm painting the sides and the front top here. Then when I get them all dried up, we'll paint them white. Then if we scuff over it, it's going to leave a little bit of the black show. So just use a pair of tweezers on each one. Just stick them on there like that. Just a dab of paint. You don't need much. Go around your outside edge. Twist it. Each star I've done just the same way. Okay, we got our flag out here in the garage now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple boards for underneath of this. I'm going to cut at least 3 of them just to kind of keep it more together and square. I don't want to cut them too big. I'm going to go about 18 inches. It's a little more than half on this board and this board. So we'll go 18 inches. I'm going to cut 3 boards 18 inches for this. Okay, I got all my wood turned over now. Don't forget, I labeled every one of them. They got numbers over here, so I know exactly where they go. Now, what I'm trying to do is get the flag as square as I can. And that's turned out to be a pretty good challenge here. Don't have quite a big enough table for it all. I gotta keep some weight on this side right here. So, to keep it straight on there. This is a tough one here. Okay, I think I look pretty square right there. So, lay this down on that side. And we want to pull these together as tight as we can. Might try to get a clamp to fit on there. Only problem is the clamp that I'm using, they're pretty heavy. I don't know if it'll work or not. That may hold it on there pretty good. Hopefully we stayed square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some liquid nail down this side. Hopefully this will all work out. Put a little liquid nail down this side. Oh boy, way too much there. I'm going to wipe some of that off. I don't need all that on there, that's for sure. Big old glob there. Okay. So now, I'm going to put my piece of wood on here, kind of spread it out. And I got some tiny little nails. Hopefully they won't go all the way through. So we'll kind of put them in a little bit of an angle here. I can see that didn't work. We'll double check this, make sure it stayed square. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to squish that together again and put that bottom. If I put those bottom couple nails in it, maybe it'll hold it tight enough. Yeah, maybe if we put these two nails down here in, it'll hold it enough together. Alright, that should grip us enough there to keep that thing together. Hopefully we're going to stay square. Alright, now this one here I'm going to put about in the middle. We'll go ahead and nail the first and last one here. That seemed to work the best. Oh, we got to see what this thing is going to look like. Oh, we did perfect. Oh, it's perfect. I love it. So now we'll go ahead and get this last one over here on. This one will be just close to that edge down there. Not real close to where you can see it, but close enough to where you can get it in there, and it's going to support all them tips. Alright, she's all together now. It looks nice. It looks real nice. Now I'm just going to take some sandpaper here, probably 220 sandpaper. Now I'm just going to scuff over this just a little bit, just to kind of get it to look a little more rustic. I want to see a little bit of the grain, not much, but just a little bit. We don't want to go crazy on it. We just want it to get rid of some of the brush streaks. We want to keep some of them in there, but want to get rid of some, but we want to see a little more black in there. So what we'll do is just lightly scuff over this. And it's going to give us our old look. Now I think that looks pretty good to me. I don't think it needs think that looks pretty good. Now I'll just take the air gun and blow all this off. We're going to get this back in there and get our stars mounted on it. So I'm going to go ahead and blow it off, a little bit of air. Now that's starting to look nice. Alright, we got all of our stars painted white, and they're just laying on here kind of randomly. I kind of staggered them back and forth, and for those of you who are probably wondering how many stars are on here, there's 49 stars. I was short one star, and to get it to look right, I would actually have to split it between the boards and put more rows. So I think it'll look fine the way it is, and I'm not sure how many people will sit there and count them, but if you want to know, there's 49. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some hot glue, a little dab of hot glue, and I'm going to place each one of these down on here. And then we'll, after we get them all hot glued on, we'll probably take a little bit of sandpaper and go over these. So I'll get all these glued on and we'll get you guys back. Alright, we got all of our stars glued on there. Now I just got some fine sandpaper, and I'm going to just kind of scuff over them to kind of make them look like the white here. So we're just going to dust over them real lightly. We don't want them to look new. And then we're going to get this cleaned up, and we're going to put a coat of clear on here. Give you a little close-up of what the stars look like after the black's underneath there, so it comes out a little bit. And then there's what the wood looks like. Just looks a little older. And then the edges, I tried to keep all them black so it actually looks like it's tore. So we're almost done. We're just going to do a coat of clear. I'm going to get this cleaned up and do a coat of clear. Okay, we got everything cleaned up. Everything's good to go. We're going to do some, this is a water-based clear coat we're going to put on here. And we're just going to put a light coat on it, on the whole thing. I'll go ahead and do a little bit here, show you guys. It's going to look really nice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish working all this in, and then I'll get you guys back here and we'll see what it looks like with the clear coat on. Okay, we got the clear coat on there. We're going to let that set for a while, and I do believe that this project is finished. I think it turned out really well, and those of you who want to know where the other star went to, I'll get this thing up. I put it here on the back with my signature saying I made it. So the other star is on there, it's just not on the front. Thought I'd give you guys a little closer look at the whole thing. There's the cut edge. Like I said, I think it turned out really nice. It's not perfect, but that's what we wanted. And that's what we got. Well, that's another project done. I think it turned out pretty nice. It didn't cost very much, probably around $20 some, but there's a lot of work involved in it. Not just, not so much the money as there was work. You know, making sure you cut the edges. Then you got to watch, because the edges are more fragile now. They can break, so it makes it a little bit, you know, you don't want them to break. But anyhow, I'd like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.